Yeah, we back. Now today we got a special video, man. Today, I like delivering news like this because this is what black men should be doing. Right now, as it stands, the only country that has black men at the top in the seat of government that's worth a damn right now is Mali. I'm gonna be honest. They're the only ones letting their nuts hang. They're the only ones flexing their muscle. They're the only ones slamming their feet on the ground. They're the only ones flexing on the enemy, flexing on the opponents. Hey, it is what it is, man. For the past 24 months, the black men who are currently controlling the government in Mali are the only black men pretty much worth a damn. And it's no surprise that they've been sanctioned, blacklisted by pretty much the entire Western world. Now, let's get into it, man. The latest news coming out of Mali, as you can see, look up on the screen. The Mali junta bans activities of NGOs funded by France, okay? This news comes months after the same government in Mali gave the French army 72 hours to evacuate the national territory, right? If y'all been keeping up with Mali for the past couple years, y'all know the black men in Mali been slamming their feet on the ground. And shortly after the military was given 72 hours to evacuate the national territory, the ambassador of France was also given 72 hours to evacuate the national territory. And then shortly after that, the French media was banned, which meant all media sources that are connected to the French government, that are backed by the French government, are no longer broadcasting in Mali, period, point blank. And now today we see that the French NGOs have been given the boot and they've also been banned, okay? And of course, as you know, when black men take on certain actions like these, when black men start slamming our feet on the ground, you already know the assassination attempts come, the overthrow attempts come. The current government in Mali has survived around 2 to 3 assassination attempts, overthrow attempts. Just take a look up on the screen. Back in July 2021, the head of state of Mali was stabbed in an assassination attempt. Of course, he survived, and the assassin is now dead. And then months later, in early 2022, certain corrupt officers in the military that were backed by a quote-unquote Western state, the white boys in Paris, they also committed a failed overthrow of the government. And I'm pretty sure those men also suffered a terrible punishment if they're not already under the ground decomposing with the worms and the roaches. But also, we have to get back into the story right here. Mali bans the activities of NGOs funded by France. Oh man, listen, the black men in Mali, listen, this is what being a black man is about, and this is what is going to be necessary in order for black nations to become prosperous. You're going to have to deal with the sanctions. You're going to have to deal with the overthrow attempts, the assassination attempts. You're going to have to deal with your name being disrespected and slandered in the media. You're going to have to understand that you're not going to be able to travel to the Western nations no more. You're going to be blacklisted. You're not going to be able to, travel to Europe, travel to America. It's over for you. It's over for you. Once you begin working against the interests of the West, you are no longer going to be welcome in the West. But that's okay, because the first and foremost obligation that you have is to the citizens of your national territory. So much love to the black men in Mali. Much love, man. They showing us how to do the goddamn thing. You know what I mean? They're showing us how to do it, and they putting their life on the line, and they taking control of their nation. And this is what black men are going to have to do around the world, not just in Mali, but across the continent, across the Caribbean, across the world. Big shout out to the black men in Mali. Big love. Before we go, though, let's read the article about the banning of the French NGOs, man. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. Let's get into it. Mali's military government has ordered all NGO activity, including aid groups financed by France, to stop activity immediately in the country. The government's official statement was read on state TV station ORTM on Monday evening by presenter Ibrahim Touré and later posted on the station's Facebook page. The statement says the decision was made after France's announcement of its suspension of development aid to Mali, which came last week, and which France says is due to concerns about Mali working with Russia. Now, hold up. This is why, black men, this is what you got to understand. When nations talk about how much aid they give you, like when the United States brags about how much aid they gives you, you know what I mean? You have to understand that aid is not charity. That aid is to influence politics. It's to influence the policy within your national territory. They do not give you aid because they love you or because they're good people. They're giving you aid because the policies that you're enforcing are beneficial to their geopolitical interests. And as soon as you start making decisions that go against their geopolitical interests, they'll gladly attempt to starve you and your citizens to death. So you got to understand, in politics, there are no permanent friends. There are no permanent enemies. There are only permanent interests, and your interests should come first. Okay? Never, ever ever buy into that falsehood that they teach us in school as little kids, that we are all God's children, we gotta lock arms in solidarity with the world and everybody, we gotta love everybody, oh no, we don't see color, it's all one race, the human race. No, life is a competition. Just yesterday I dropped that video entitled Black Men Must Understand Life is a Competition. People are out here battling for wealth, prosperity, resources, prominence, and dominance on the geopolitical stage. Okay, that's what it's about. Put that biblical bullshit to the side. It's about competition, all right? And you have to be willing to commit any act. You have to be willing to do anything it takes to ensure the prosperity, the dignity, and the safety of your citizens and everybody who looks like you. Point blank, period, brother. And these black men in Mali, they understand that. They understand in politics, it ain't no permanent enemies, it ain't no permanent allies, it's only permanent interests. And as soon as our interests don't align, we gotta go our separate ways. So big shout out once again to the black men in Mali. Let's get back into the article, man. Consequently, Traore says the transitional government has decided to prohibit with immediate effect all activities carried out by NGOs operating in Mali with funding or with material or technical support from France, including in the humanitarian field. The statement also claimed that France's suspension of aid is intended to deceive and manipulate public opinion for the purpose of destabilizing and isolating Mali. This statement goes on to refer to France's aid to Mali as dehumanizing aid used as a means of blackmailing rulers and actively supporting terrorist groups operating on Malian soil. Man, them black men in Mali telling them French white boys suck a dick. Them black men in Mali telling the white boys in France, nigga, fuck you, pussy. Yeah. This statement does not clarify or offer proof of the accusations. Diplomatic relations between France and Mali have been increasingly tense this year since France supported sanctions by the West African country grouping ECOWAS against Mali over delayed elections. So, of course, France, like most Western nations, always trying to make itself appear as this humanitarian, democratic, benevolent nation, when really they're just the descendants of the pillagers and the plunderers and invaders that enslaved our ancestors centuries ago, right? So it is what it is. The black men in Mali can see through the games. You know what I mean? They're not falling for the banana in its tailpipe. And it's a beautiful sight to see. It's a beautiful sight to see when black men, you know what I'm saying, slap their feet on the ground. In Creole we say, comprendre, le frappe pied à terre. You know what I'm saying? And it's a beautiful sight to see. And if only all of our rulers around the world had the same testicular fortitude to tell the Western nations, nigga, fuck you, suck my dick, bitch. If only they had the masculinity to do what needs to be done, man, we would be in a more prosperous place as a race across the world, because Mali cannot do it by itself. Mali can't be the only one flexing its muscle on the Western powers. It got to be all of us united on the same page. And unfortunately, when the French army was forced to withdraw from Mali, they went right next door, I believe, to Niger. The Nigerian president was, he's a puppet. So he pretty much opened the doors for the French military to move in right next door. So, it's, black men got a lot of work to do in terms of getting us all on the same page so we can work towards a united agenda for the betterment and the prosperity of our people. But, big shout out to the brothers in Mali, showing us how to do it, dodging the obstacles and the traps set by the enemy, surviving multiple overthrow and assassination attempts, continually telling the French government to suck a dick, and it's beautiful, man. It's your boy Neferkari Desalegn back in the building, yes indeed, and I'm gone, peace.
Reincarnated, I'm back in original fashion. I left on a horse and came back in that ass, and I left with abundance and came back to famine. We used to be pyramids, now we be rapping. Look how the mighty have fallen. Used to be running, now we be walking. When you be cooning, that's when they applauded. Selling your soul, your sons and your daughter. Gotta come up in this shit, they stuck in the mix. Really, my heart it be breaking. That's why I'm stacking that paper and handle my business. Pass it down in generation. Talking about money and power and building a nation. That's a deadly combination. Never be watching the TV, they pushing agendas, falsifying information. Know they got malice intentions. Step in the room and I'm feeling the tension. Enemy watching me blocking my vision. Pay for the check cause I need my my redemption. Building my kingdom, I need it protected. Ready for war like a young Money Congo. Never decided the team is the motto. Up in the crib and I'm whipping up waffles. Up in the crib and I'm smoking gelato. I'm chilling, I'm taking my pain and make it ambition. I'm blessed by the gods, but I ain't religious. I came for the power, they came for the bitch. They making no hourly wage, I got business. This is an art, and they could never be taught. Selling my soul, I can never be bought. Play with my money, I see you in court. Run to the check and I do it for sport. Babylon falling, I go to the source. Packing my luggage and go overseas. Shorty be with me and she so elite. Shorty be chocolate, I'm calling her Hershey. Secret intelligence probably gon' murk me. Don't fuck with brands, cause nigga I'm Haitian. Say the wrong shit and you're smacking their faces.